Alright y'all, welcome back to another command block video. My name is Will, and today we are going to be going indoor skydiving in Minecraft. I've built this big wind tunnel behind us. You can see the floor is just made of dispensers, and they're shooting up air really fast out of them. You can see the air rising up, and now that we've seen it, I'm going to turn it off because all these particles are a nightmare for my frame rate. So for the rest of the video, let's all use our imaginations. Alright, cool, thanks. So when we step inside, what will happen is we're going to be pushed up into the air, and we're going to kind of bob around in place, just in the air, which is pretty neat. The closer we get to the big wind tunnel in the middle, we'll go even higher than before. So now we're going even higher, and then if we go all the way into the wind, we will be pushed all the way to the ceiling, and then from there we'll kind of just float in place. See, we've reached the top of it, and we're kind of just floating. We've reached equilibrium. So now if we kind of fly over to the side, we'll fall, and if we deploy our elytra, you can see that we actually fall really slowly. Just like in a real wind tunnel, in a real indoor skydiving arena or area or whatever you would call those things. I've never actually been indoor skydiving, but I imagine that it's just like this. This also works with pretty much every mob in the game, so if we set down a little pig, he'll start to float too. If we set another pig down in the middle, he'll float all the way to the top, which is kind of funny. From there, this kind of weird thing will happen. I don't really know why, but I guess he's just doomed to slam himself into the ceiling for the rest of eternity. Oh well, let's pop a saddle on this guy, and then we can sit on him. And now we can just kind of ride him around, which is pretty silly. Interestingly enough, if we pull out a carrot on a stick, then he'll stop floating and he'll just walk along. I don't know exactly why that happens. My assumption is that the game stops recognizing the pig as a mob and sees it as a vehicle, so all the potion effects don't apply to it anymore. Because as soon as we step off of it, he starts floating again, as do we. Oh, this guy's still up here. Oh well. It works with other mobs too, so if we spawn in like llamas, horses, if we try to ride these guys, it'll work as normal until we tame them. And I think the reason is the same as the pig. See if I can tame this guy real quick here. Probably not. Horses tend to hate me in this game. Probably because I keep killing them. Yeah, so you can see that now that this horse is tamed, I can just walk around and be completely unaffected by the wind, which is kind of a weird thing. I was really hoping that you'd be able to steer the animals around while they were flying, but it also kind of doesn't look like they'll even move anywhere themselves while they're flying. So yeah, now you can see that I'm falling really slowly. It almost looks like I'm just suspended in midair completely, which is kind of the goal that we want to get. And now I've blinked completely out of existence. Okay. Here I am. It's kind of a really weird effect that you get with the slow falling effect plus a deployed elytra. It's kind of, I don't know, it just makes you fly really slowly, and then combining that with like spinning around a bunch of times, you can kind of bug yourself out and then get an effect like this. But you got to be careful though, because if you move the mouse ever so slightly, you will disappear into what I can only assume is an alternate dimension, and who knows what kind of horrors lie over there. So yeah, this is pretty fun, it's pretty silly, it's 100% useless, so I don't know why anyone else would actually want to build it, but in case you're as crazy as me, I will do a quick little tutorial right now. Now the core mechanic behind how this whole thing works is we need to be able to detect when a player is above a certain block. So let's say we need to be above this dispenser to be shot upwards. And so now we are, and presumably the dispenser is shooting air up and lifting us into place, but what's actually happening is we are detecting the dispenser underneath us and then using that information to apply the levitation effect to ourselves and to all the animals as well. So this just works with an execute as all entities, that includes players and animals, at the selected entity if the block that's one block underneath us is a dispenser. And so if that is true, then it'll run the command effect, give us the effect of levitation for just a second. And so yeah, that's pretty much the core theory behind it all. It's not that complicated. And it gets a little bit more complicated over here. So the way that it works, we need to be able to fly up higher the closer we get to the center, right? So we have more command blocks over there that are just running the execute command, but instead of searching for dispensers 1 block beneath us, they're searching for these blocks 8 blocks beneath us. So let's say we come up over these dispensers, we get a little bit closer to the center, and it detects that there's lime green concrete 8 blocks underneath us, so that'll give us a better levitation effect that'll shoot us up a little bit faster and for a little bit longer. So the reason we have them stacked up here is because when we're already in the air, let's say we're 7 blocks up in the air in the middle, instead of having to come all the way back down to receive more levitation effect, we can detect these diamond blocks here while we're already way up in the air, and then it'll just keep shooting us up even further. And so yeah, that's how we get the gradual increase going towards the center. And then the most important thing, you can't forget this, is you need a repeating command block that just always gives us the slow falling effect. This won't work if we don't have slow falling because, well, for one, we would hit the dispensers on the ground after being shot way up, and then we'd, take fall damage and die. But most importantly is for the elytra. So when you have the elytra deployed and you have the slow falling effect on, it just creates that weird, really slow flying and kind of floating in place mechanic, the one that makes you jump dimensions for some reason. So yeah, that's pretty much how the whole thing works. So thank you for watching and being beautiful. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you decide to build one of these for yourselves, let me know in the comments how you enjoyed it. And I hope it wasn't a giant waste of time, like it kind of was for me. Whoops. So subscribe for more stupid stuff like this. That's it.